So to start out, our first speaker is on the Gateway program. Our speaker is Paula Cala Ortiz. Paula is born and raised in Bogota, Colombia. She served as a personal advisor to the mayor of Bogota, Enrique Peñalosa, who's a renowned urbanist. And in this role, she championed critical transportation projects such as the enhancement of the city's bus rapid transit network, contracting of the city's first metro line, and expansion of its bike lane infrastructure. She came to New York to pursue a master's in public administration at Columbia University, and now serves as policy advisor at the Gateway Development Commission. So Paula, thank you for joining us, and take it away.
Thank you, Dave, for the introduction. I'm going to share my screen. Please let me know if you can see it.
We can see it.
Okay, great. So thank you everyone for joining us today. I want to thank NJTPA, the MAP Forum, all the MPOs and COGs that are here today. I'm Paula Cala Ortiz. I'm a policy advisor at GDC, and I'm going to talk about the Hudson Tunnel project. So I'd first like to start talking about the Gateway program. So what I'm going to focus today is phase one of that Gateway program, and I'm going to talk briefly about what that means. It's all something you're very familiar with, but the Northeast Corridor is really an economic engine for the whole of the country. It moves 800,000 daily trips. There are 7 million jobs that are located between 5 miles of the Northeast Corridor. The annual contribution of the workers that ride this corridor to the country's economy is 50 billion. And this is really just the economic engine that's moving the country. So why do we think Gateway is the most urgent infrastructure project in America? First of all, there's a 4.5-mile segment of that Northeast Corridor that crosses between New York Penn Station and New Jersey Penn Station. And that is really the bottleneck of that whole corridor that goes from Boston to DC. And so 450 trains go across that corridor daily. That is 200K trips, and that are really in that bottleneck. So this tunnel was deeply damaged by Superstorm Sandy, and there is a huge risk of economic losses of 20% of the GDP if that tunnel were to fail. So what are the economic, now on the positive side, what are the economic, social, and environmental impacts of the Hudson Tunnel project? Across the whole duration of the project, it will create 72,000 jobs, generate 19 billion economic activity, and it will also stimulate the economy by spending an average of 80 million a month on materials and labor. We're planning and we're committed to using US suppliers and manufacturers from around the whole country, and we're also deeply committed to fulfilling all federal provisions regarding DBE participation. As I was saying, I'm focusing today on the phase one of the Gateway program, which has two components: the Hudson Tunnel project, which I'm here to talk about, and the Portal North Bridge replacement, which is under construction by our partners, our New Jersey Transit. And so what are the main components of the Hudson Tunnel project? I'm going to go in depth, but it's basically two early works, which are already under construction, the construction of the new tunnel, and the rehabilitation of the existing tunnel, which is over 113 years old. And ultimately, the Hudson Tunnel project will increase resiliency, reliability, and redundancy across the whole of the Northeast Corridor. And so going more in depth into the Hudson Tunnel project, I'd like to start by talking about what the Gateway Development Commission is, where I work. So we're a bi-state agency, and we are a single purpose agency. We're created with the purpose of developing the Hudson Tunnel project. We have a 7-member commission. 3 of our commissioners are from the state of New York, 3 from representatives of the state of New Jersey, and 1 of them is from Amtrak. We've been growing rapidly in terms of staff to build our technical, legal, and financial capacity. And all of this is possible thanks to the multi-million-dollar commitments of the state of New York, New Jersey, and Amtrak, and other of our partners. So I'd like to quickly go into a 1-year progress update. So what has happened since the agency was created in January this year. And I know Dave mentioned this is important for you to know. So in terms of funding, we're really proud to say that we've received or had approved an up to $11 billion in federal funding. That means a a 70-30 funding split between the federal government and our local partners. And this is all funding from the FTA, from the USDOT, and the FRA. And I'm not going to go in detail because you can see it in the slide. I also want to say that the state's funding plan for that 30% is already in place and includes execution-ready agreements. And we are moving into the creditworthiness phase of the Build America Bureau for the funding of that 30%. And in terms of organizational, I'd like to highlight that we have been designated very recently an FTA new grant recipient. So that means we are now enabled to receive all of this federal funding. And I'm going to go into packaging and procurement and construction in our next slides. And so bear with me with this animated slide to locate ourselves. New York is at the right, New Jersey is at the left. And so I want to first mention what the Hudson Tunnel project boundaries are. So in New Jersey, it's County Road. In New York, it's Penn Station. Oh, sorry. There we go. Then we jump into package 4, which is the Tunnelly Avenue Bridge and Utility Relocation Project. I think it's not worth it to start thinking package numbers because it's a little confusing, but this is one of the construction works that's on the ground now. It has started construction, and Tunnelly is really a key component of the Hudson Tunnel project because this is where all the staging site is located and will be the main staging site for the project. The next of our components is, sorry, the camera is getting on my way. 1 second. There we go. So the next of our components is package 0, which is the Hudson Yards concrete casing. This concrete casing is really a fundamental rail of way for the connection between the new Hudson Tunnel, and the existing Penn Station. This is also under construction, as I will mention later on in the presentation. We then go into the Hudson River ground stabilization, which is a procurement that's undergoing, and this will guarantee that the surface under the Hudson River is stable enough for the tunnel boring machine to be able to cross from New Jersey. Palisades Tunnel, it's the whole of the tunnel boring machine going under the Palisades in New Jersey. Manhattan tunnels, which is a key component that will allow the tunnel boring machine to cross the Hudson River and go into Manhattan. And then the Hudson River Tunnel, which will be the last connection for this, which is what we call the core and shell of the project. After the core and shell is done, we will go into the New Jersey surface alignment, which will allow for the existing Northeast Corridor tracks to connect to the new tunnel. And then package 2, as I was saying, don't look at the package number, is the whole systems and feed out, which will allow for the tunnel to be fully operational. After this new tunnel is fully operational, we'll start with the rehabilitation of the existing North River Tunnel, which will happen at a 1 track at a time. So after the new tunnel is built, there will always be, we will be at 150% capacity because we will always have 3 tubes under operation. And so I'd quickly like to point out, as you saw in the past slide, we have all the project, or the Hudson Tunnel project has been divided into 9 contracts. 2 of those contracts are now under construction as of the past month. 3 of those contracts are in procurement, and 4 of those are upcoming in the next year or so. In Hudson Yards concrete casing, as I was just mentioning, and this is 2 or 3 weeks back, we had Majority Leader Schumer, we had Governor Hochul, we had White House Advisor Mitch Landrieu, among others, accompany us at the HYCC 3 site to launch construction. And yes, just yesterday, we had the groundbreaking at the Tunnelly Avenue site. This means that we have, as promised, started construction on both sides of the Hudson River this year. And now to quickly go into procurement, these are the 3 procurements that are currently on the road. We have the Hudson River ground stabilization, as I was mentioning. This is a design build contract. We have shortlisted 3 companies during the RFQ process, and we're now expecting proposals for the RFP due the end of this year, so very close. Palisades Tunnel, this is a design bid build contract. We've already also shortlisted 5 companies, and we're expecting proposals in the first quarter of next year. And the Manhattan Tunnel contract, we're still in the RFQ process. We're expecting the RFP to be released during the second quarter of 2024. And so just to close very quickly, what are upcoming milestones? So we anticipate to award the contract for phase 1 of Hudson River Ground Stabilization and for phase 1 of our delivery partner. Our delivery partner will be a large group, a large team that we will bring on board to help us enhance that technical, financial, and legal capacity that a mega project of this sort requires. So the phase 1 of that delivery partner will also be on board during the winter of 2024, and then in the summer of 2024, we're really expecting we anticipate to have to receive the full funding grant agreement for the federal government, and also the RIF loan execution, which will guarantee that the project is fully funded. We also anticipate a contract award for HRGS Phase 2, for the delivery partner Phase 2, and for the Palisades Tunnel. And that leads to the groundbreaking of HRGS Phase 2 and the Palisades Tunnel contracts. And with this, I close. I'd like to leave this QR here for a few seconds so people can scan it if you wish. This will lead you to our procurement and work with us website, where you'll have we host here all of the presentation of our public outreach events that we've done. We've done 6 this year, 4 in person, 2 virtual. We're actually holding another virtual event just at 11 a.m. today. All the presentations remain in this site. So if you wish to see what we're sharing with the industry and with others, that's all there. And with this, I'm close. Thank you.